I'm going to show you on this left shoulder model where I'm going to inject and where she's tender in her right shoulder, so you'll have to transpose this. This bony prominence here is where the subscapularis tendon inserts. Subscapularis muscle is in, so you know, in the front of the scapula, and it comes under the axilla and over and inserts right here. The biceps tendons run down through here, go over the coracoid process. She's not particularly tender here. She's not particularly tender in the acromioclavicular joint. She has crepitation though as I move the joint around. So her main tender areas are anterior cuff, subscapularis, the supraspinatus tendon, which inserts here. Infraspinatus tendon inserts here is not particularly painful. She is painful or tender in the posterior cuff, and the teres minor tendon inserts right about this area. She's tender along the lateral scapula. This is where the triceps, one of the triceps origins, is located, and the teres minor origin is just below it. So we may not need to inject the triceps. This isn't an aching, constant aching pain to her, but if it is, as we move along, we might end up injecting that too. But this we're going to try to inject posterior cuff, supraspinatus, subscapularis, anterior cuff, and we'll probably pick up some biceps tendon attachments in here too. The solution we'll be using will be the 1/3 mixture, dextrose, lidocaine, and marcaine, with 1/3 of each. Now I find that if the patient is able to cooperate with you, it's more advantageous to inject the patient sitting up, because the shoulder can be moved about for better localization and identification. The little knobby thing here in the front is always tender in bad shoulders, is the subscapularis insertion. We'll start with that and work up to the cuff. Move along the anterior cuff a little bit. Did a little row along the anterior cuff there. Now if we're going to inject the coracoid process, which is right here, I would inject it on the tip, and I would get the ligament on top of it, which goes up to the clavicle. So you've got the biceps and brachialis tendon on the tip of the coracoid process. We also need to inject the occipital trigger points or tender points, point A, B, and C, as Hackett described them. Hackett also told us that the ligament of Nucci that attaches right to the center of the head will refer pain to the very tip top of the head. So the apex of the head, pain that is in that area, may be a referral from the occipital protuberance. So we've marked interspinous ligaments at C7, T1, C6, C7, occipital protuberance, and occipital trigger points or tender points A, B, and C. I'm going to locate cervical facets. In her case, we're going to get the C2 transverse process also. And we'll come back in to get facets. Down to T1. Mark these on the other side. We'll get the occipital protuberance first, up inside her hairline. On bone. We'll get point A. Has to be on bone. Don't want to go up underneath it very far. if you're asking for trouble. But we're pretty safe by going out along the edge, as long as you can feel the edge of the bone. I'm going to get it on both sides first. Some people's hairline is different than others, and so you have to not let the hairline be your marker, but rather what you feel with your fingertips. Now, C2 transverse process. We got here. If you can feel that, you can inject it the first time. And right on the tip of it, we'll put in 1/4 of a cc. And we'll go down over the facet joints. If you don't feel you're in the right place, you back out, move on to another one. You always got another day to come back and get one that you didn't feel like you're in the right place for.